Welcome everyone to an awesome game between DBD Lenorm as Kislev and the Ice Witch going up against the Ogre Kingdoms and the Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor. So two great spellcasters leading the forces today, but for the Ogre Kingdoms we are going to have the double heroes of the Hunters. So the big bad boys here on the Stonehorns, they're going to be leading with the Bandstick, which is going to be a powerful explosion spell. So for the main infantry forces, 5 units of the cheap Noblars, they're going to be really good at dissipating the damage throughout the battle here alongside the Ogre Balls. So of course here, as we do take damage with those on top of each other, Noblars will be taking some of the damage that you would normally be getting on top of the Ogre Balls. So for the cannon, we are going to have the Iron Blaster in the back. We don't need to say much about this. It's an extremely powerful unit. Also here alongside 2 units of the Lead Belchers. Very good range. Think about those as just basically miniature cannons that have 94 armor-piercing missile strength and 200 range. So for the Slaughtermaster of the Grey Moor, we are going to have Belly Slapper, so negative there on the melee attack, as well as Blood Cleaver for a bit of healing. For the spells, we are going to have Troll Guts, Bone Crusher, and then extra ingredients for a bit of mana and mana reserves. So for the big duck legend, we are going to be having a front line of the Armoured Corsairs. Of course, they don't need much armor piercing, so the great weapons haven't been brought today, but these bad boys do have 25 missile strength for 6 ammunition. In the front for the hero, we are going to have the Patriarch on horseback. A little bit of shame not to see him on a bear, because of course, you know, bears for the bear god and all, but he is going to be having the Brazier, as well as the Battle Hymn and Lullaby. For the Ice Witch on horseback, we are going to have the Arcane Conduit and the Iron Ice Armor, as well as the spells of the Death Frost, Frost Blades, and the Guardian Call. So, bears for the bear god, we are going to have the double war bear riders, so thank God we got some of the gorgeous boys in here. Look at these absolute animals ready to get forward and just tear flesh from all of the limbs here of these ogres. We are going to have Corsair Spears, which I think are very, very good up against Ogre Kingdoms. Even if they go into melee combat, they've got anti-large. Ogres don't have much armor, and these boys don't have much armor piercing, so they do quite nicely even in melee combat. Double Strelitzy just to really pack on the armor piercing, and these boys, just think of them like Thunderers, but better, because they can fight in melee combat with armor piercing thanks to the battle axes here on the end of those guns. So for 850 gold cost, Strelitzy are certainly in land battles going to be a big pick for sure. So charging forward, both sides are going to come through. The Iron Blaster is just going to be wrecking Strelitzy. I think it's a really good target priority because they are just going to tear through the armor of the Hunters. Lead Belchers charge forward. They're going to be just destroying the Armored Corsairs. Armor sundering in the front as well thanks to the big cannon. This Iron Blaster is going to be a nuisance to deal with. We don't have too many mobile elements to the Kislev side. We do have the double Warbear Riders. They do have 75 speed. But of course, Ogre's also pretty mobile as well. Now we are going to charge into the Noblars at the front, and having these on their own, that's a little bit unfortunate. We are going to move him with the Stonehorn. The Hunter does have anti-large armor-piercing missiles, so it can do quite nicely as well. Double Stonehorns charging into the front. Looks like we are going to get the Bang Stick. That's going to go alongside the Warbear Riders. I think that's going to be a lot better alongside infantry rather than the monstrous cavalry. So Noblars charging forward, Ogre Ball, Iron Fist. These are going to be the ones here that have shields on their left arm here, and gives them a bit of missile resistance here. So they can be quite nice. I do prefer Iron Guts in total. These bad boys can do the business. You can see they just go straight through the Ogre Balls. We did take the charge as the Noblars, and then we counter charge with the Ogre Balls straight over the front line here of the Armoured Corsairs. Moving into hand-to-hand combat, the spears are ready. They're going to be poking, they're going to be stroking, and bringing down the big monstrous infantry. So for the main battle line, it looks like we have a lot of firepower here going into the flank of the Hunters. We are going to have the Strelitzy getting those battle axes ready to really fling them into the flank of the Hunters. Polar Bears do actually have anti-large of 23 and good armor piercing, so they are perfect targets to really tear this Hunter down to size. In the middle, we are going to have Ogre Balls backed up by more Ogre Balls here, fighting up against the Armoured Corsairs. The Slaughtermaster probably ought to get in combat. We have paid for a bit of healing here. We do have the Blood Cleaver that really does provide an incredible amount of healing, plus also the Lore passive also gets healing faction-wise. So get him involved, get his hands dirty, get him fighting here, and gobbling up all of these Kislevite units. So gunpowder in the front, we're going to be firing along the lines here. We do get a summon of the Snow Leopard in the middle. The anti-large armor-piercing sniper does fall from the battle here. Unfortunately, the Ogres have brought down the big beastie. So double Ogre Balls are going to be, one's going to be wavering, the Noblars are going to be holding, dissipating a lot of damage here from the Armoured Corsairs. In the back, we still have a lot of Corsairs, Streltsy shooting quite nicely, although in this nice long flank, we are going to be seeing here, unfortunately, Lead Belchers plus the Iron Blasters doing some lovely work there in the back. Oh, this is fantastic. So the Patriarch is going to be pushing off the Hunter. He broke for whatever reason. Looks like here we did have a Troll Guts to get a bit of healing, and now he's going to get pushed off the map. Now that just shows an elite player here that's been playing for a very long time. He recognized the Patriarch has the mobility to push off the Stonehorn even at 2/3 health. Once it's broken, you have to have some distance of not being attacked to make sure you can return to the battlefield. So excellent work there coming from the DBD legend. Now in the middle pocket, we are going to have Noblars backed up by Ogre Balls fighting in the back up against the Corsairs. And unfortunately here, the Ogre Balls are going to take so much unnecessary damage from the cheap unit of Corsairs. Only costing 500 gold, these bad boys have good missiles that can take down Ogre Balls, plus those anti-large spears really offer them, you know, sort of a double way there of inflicting good damage up against the large monstrous infantry. Now they do have the big blades and they can fight pretty hard, they do have 90 weapon strength, so they can just slap and move on here from the Corsair spears as well. So turning and burning is going to be the Streltsy. Looks like they're firing into the pocket here of the Ogre Balls. The Iron Fists are going to get taken down. But unfortunately here we do have the double Lead Belchers. We are going to be charging in with the Patriarch. He's going to be coming in from behind to maybe see if we can compromise one of the Lead Belchers. But they're going to be firing that hot, heavy lead into the flanks here of the Ice Witch and these beautiful, gorgeous Warbear Riders. Now the bad boys are going to move out. What are we going to be chasing here? It looks like we're going to come very quickly to take down these Lead Belchers, but one of them is going to be still shooting, and they will take down so many models of these bad boys. 94 armor piercing, actually up to 98 armor piercing. Missile strength is certainly nothing to shake a stick at. Now Dismember is a great ability here factionally for the Ogre Kingdoms. That's going to be slowing down by 60 to 65%. So very nice stuff, and very, very sadly, there's going to be dead polar bears throughout the battlefield. Heroic riders here of Kislev do manage to get amongst the Ogre Kingdoms. These Lead Belchers cannot fight in combat. They're just going to be whacking those big heavy hand cannons round the face of these ginormously gorgeous bears. The Battle Hymn plus Lullaby coming in for the healing. We're only going to be having 6 beautiful models left here for the Warbear Riders as they're getting shot in the flanks here by the Lead Belchers. Bit of a mistake, you could move the Patriarch out. It does look like we are going to get Warbear Riders moving towards these Lead Belchers, hopefully shutting them down. We do actually have By Our Blood. That's going to be unbreakable there for 30 seconds. And in the middle, it's not looking too great either. Ogre Balls alongside the Noblars running rampant in the back. We do have one very healthy unit of the Warbears. They're going to be just tearing apart the mass Ogre Ball infantry. In the middle, a very weak unit of the Ogre Ball Iron Fist. 9 models left at 1.2k. They're going to charge forwards, maybe try and see if they can compromise, shut down, and keep broken here on the Corsairs. If they do return, that's going to be a mass load of range that can really rip apart the big monstrous infantry. Now we can see in the back here the nice Iron Blaster is ready to go. Still 1.5k weapon strength, armor sundering. This thing is an absolute menace. 66 speed, it could really get around the battlefield. It's going to be up to 91 kills so far. We do actually break and return with one of the Lead Belchers on the top of the hill, and he's going to be firing downtown on the Warbear Riders. So very nice stuff here from the Ogre Kingdoms. They're going to be collecting their forces here, but that is going to allow a lot of the Corsairs and the Streltsy to return and get back in here and start shooting amongst the lightly armoured infantry. So the Ice Witch is going to charge forward. She might fight here. Death Frost has been activated. That's going to be a good single entity sniper spell. That's going to do lots of good damage here, and should be able to bring the Iron Blaster down to size. Frostbite has been inflicted by the Ice Witch. That's going to be slowing the Iron Blaster down to 40 speed, and now it's going to have to fight in melee combat. It will still shoot, it can just ignore the Ice Witch, but you know, we'll have to see. Anti-infantry armor piercing. It's got good armor piercing stats in melee combat, so it could fight here back against the Ice Witch. In the main pocket, the Warbear Riders have just fought absolutely heroically, breaking 1, 2, 3, 4 units here. Very nice stuff. They're going to be charging off the Lead Belchers. There's going to be one on top of the hill. They have broken, moving in, actually shattering here thanks to the Patriarch, the hero of Kislev with that healing. And there we go. That's going to be GG's, and well played to Kislev and DBD Lenorm. What a fantastic game. Thank you so much for sending that in, Lenorm. I really enjoyed this. Of course, bears for the bear god. Just next time for me, put some bears on these Ice Witches and Patriarchs. They're so goddamn cool, either way. We are going to have 2,100 for the Ice Witch, awesome stuff, with 950 for the Patriarch, alongside that melee attack buff, healing. The Patriarch, a really, really nice pick indeed. 2,050 there for the Warbear Riders, 1,600 bears for the Bear God, and we all know the Warbear Riders, they hit like absolute tanks. One of my favourite to see in the game. 450 and 350 there for the Streltsy. 400, 150, 130 and 200 for the Armoured Corsairs. Corsair Spears, an excellent choice at 110, 330, 450, 180 and 644. So GG's well played to the Ogre Kingdoms. I really did like the build. I thought there were some really nice elements to it. We saw 118 there for the Slaughter Master. Probably could have found a place called home. Really needed to get in amongst the cheaper infantry, maybe alongside the Corsairs, and just really start butchering them. Even if they got the anti-large damage up against him, he's just going to heal all of that back. 340 and 505 there for the Hunters. 315, 220, 170, 350 and 360 for the Noblars, 1.8k for the Iron Blaster, such a great model indeed here in the multiplayer community, 2,100, 2,400 for the Lead Belchers with 360, 430, 830 and 500 here for the Ogre Bulls. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, please smash that like button. It really does help here on the channel. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to read all your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe if you haven't already. You guys have been doing that so well recently, so thank you very much. If you do want to see a video here on the channel, do go into the description and find that Discord where you can leave a replay just like this one for casting in the future, hopefully on my channel. So I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.